Trust can take years to build, seconds to break, and forever to repair. Welcome to this week's Hope from the Hills. The Bible says this: trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. That's Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. Unmet expectations, heartbreak, disappointment, despair, or just plain old skepticism are all old friends of a heart that's distrusting. Whilst the nuance and associations of these words often leave us feeling hopeless, the remaining truth is that daily many of us experience the ramifications of distrust, depending on ourselves, switching to autopilot that left unchecked will lead us simply into ruin. When we stop and truly reflect on the expression of brokenness and how it impacts our lives and others around us, we can be left simply inquiring as to how we actually can, if at all, break this cycle. Furthermore, are we the ones tasked and in charge of breaking away? Or are we perhaps to lay aside the struggle and steely determination of our own will, lean in and depend instead on trusting God? For many of us, the concept of trust is both a difficult and practically challenging concept to apprehend. Trust can often feel abstract and is unable to be grasped or realised by our 5 given senses. The stepping out into the void of trust has, after all, a nasty habit of making us uncomfortable, restless and anxious. And why is the simple concept of choosing to trust God so difficult functionally to live out, or fraught with so many roadblocks to applying the directive to lean not on our own understanding? The trust we choose and exercise in God will always transcend our senses. This kind of trust is about moving forward without seeing. It's uncomfortable because we feel blind to what will happen, and often disorientated from realizing what the true reality is of our unshakable standing with Jesus. When we're in that place, our feet are firmly rooted then into the solidity of his declared promises, and that's the genesis of where trust really is found, and it really is birthed. His trust can be lent on, confided in, and fully protected by, because God does his best work when he has all of us, above our drive to survive or believing that we must control and cling. To trust God is to look to him and at him, because we can never follow someone we're not looking at once our eyes leave our present circumstances and we choose to look to him. He will always gently and graciously lead us in all things when our eyes remain upon him. Trust's power never comes from our own selves or actions, but from the initiator and perfecter of our faith. This world is full of distractions and fleeting moments of entertainment, so it's easy to lose sight of him and then in turn lose our way. When we trust in God, it's a moment by moment, real time, day by day, action and choice. The tension between trust and distrust, faith and doubt can sometimes ebb and flow back and forth very quickly. We can move from the victorious mountaintops to the valley of indecision and defeat all too quickly. But the wise will remember that trust is a series of repeated choices and very small steps. And when we stumble and fall, God is much more concerned with our coming back to him each time we leave, rather than the fact that we left him in the first place. The more we choose to come back to him in trust, the stronger our hearts will be to stay and lean not on our own understanding. So today, he will resource and give you all that you need to trust in him. The reality is, in his kingdom economy, that tomorrow we can begin anew with specific mercies individually crafted and tailored for that day too. And in the light of that, none of us needs so much to worry about learning to surrender our lives to the enormity of a lifetime scale, but instead in the light and gentle portion of one day at a time. God doesn't ask us to construct a highway of trust, nor provide the manpower to build it. He simply asks us to offer up ourselves, stone by stone, our trust firmly placed in him. And in those moments, he'll use and build hope and purpose and redemption into the ways that he has for us, and that only he can see, when we willingly offer our lives up to him and simply believe. I'll see you next time.